Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, February 4, 2025. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government is prepared to receive all its hardworking citizens who have been in the United States or any other country they may have gone for economic benefits. Dr. Holness's statement comes against the background of changes in the U.S. immigration policy, which has resulted in the deportation of undocumented persons. The Prime Minister says the government for some time now has been planning and putting measures in place to address such changes. He says Jamaica has always been a net supplier of talent to the world, and those with talents who may be returning could help to build our country.
There are many Jamaicans now who are feeling uncertain in the United States and who are considering returning on their own to avoid the indignity of being deported. And we welcome you back to Jamaica. We want your talent. We want your resources. There are many opportunities in Jamaica that together we can take advantage of and build the country that we would want.
The Prime Minister was speaking on Friday at a new social housing program handover ceremony in St. James. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is issuing a stern warning to Jamaicans who will be returning to the island with criminal intentions.
Let me be clear to you that this is not the Jamaica that you left 10 or 20 years ago. It is not the JCF that you left 10 or 20 years ago. You will either meet a judge or your maker if you come back to Jamaica and violate our laws and create havoc. We want all our Jamaicans to always feel that they have somewhere to come back to and call home and be well received.
According to Dr. Holness, the decline in major crimes being experienced has been a long and hard sacrifice of the country, and the government will not tolerate criminals coming back to undermine or reverse this achievement.
Come back with a good heart and a good mind. Come back willing to work. Come back with your resources. You will be able to make life here. But don't come back here to undermine and destroy what we have built. The government is already planning in terms of putting in place new measures, enhanced security measures to address those who we know have a criminal past or who have been interdicted in the United States, convicted in the United States, and are being returned after serving their criminal penalties there. And we will ensure that they are appropriately monitored here and that they are not in any way contributing to an increase in our crime or murder rate.
In other news, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz has lauded Petrojam for its multi-billion-dollar fuel supply agreement with Pariah Fuel Trading Company in Trinidad and Tobago. The $90 million or 14 billion Jamaican dollar agreement, which took effect on February 1, saw the state-owned refinery company exporting its first shipment of 50,000 barrels of oil. Minister Vaz says this is a significant step towards strengthening regional energy security and economic cooperation within CARICOM. Under the agreement, Petrojam will supply nearly 1 million barrels of very low sulfur and high sulfur fuel oil to Trinidad and Tobago. Projections for the monthly export range between 60,000 and 90,000 barrels, primarily to support the country's maritime refueling operations. Minister Vaz says the deal not only enhances trade between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago, but also aligns with CARICOM's vision for regional sustainability and economic resilience. The export deal is expected to strengthen ties between the two nations while positioning Jamaica as a key supplier in the Caribbean energy market. The Ministry of National Security is set to host its first Cyber Smart Conference on February 11 and 12 in Kingston under the theme, Stay Safe in Cyberspace. The two-day event will bring together 300 local, regional, and international stakeholders to address the growing challenges of cyber threats and strengthen Jamaica's cyber resilience. Senior Policy Director within the ministry, Trezana Gordon, says the conference will take a multi-stakeholder approach. It aims to foster collaboration and knowledge sharing among the government, private sector, academia, and cybersecurity experts.
When we narrowed it down, we looked at 4 main areas, and the 4 main areas that we're looking at for this 2-day conference is cybercrime, cybersecurity, emerging technologies, and the financial sector, especially because of what's happening in that sector when it comes to the digital space.
Local speakers will be drawn from the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency MOCA, the Jamaica Defense Force, and the Office of the Prime Minister to outline the impending draft of the Cybersecurity Act. There will be speakers from CARICOM Impacts, the Organization of American States, OAS, and Google Cloud, among others.
So we intend to have a very fruitful 2 days discussion with the different partners, and at the end of those 2 days, I hope that there will be a stronger network of individuals and entities across the cyber ecosystem, both in Jamaica and across the region, that will help to strengthen what already exists and bridge the gap wherever those are.
Ms. Gordon was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. Registration for the Cyber Smart Conference is now open at mnscybersmartexpo.com. And finally, the Ministry of Health and Wellness says it continues to provide access to cancer care for more than 500 patients through the Oncology Hematology Unit at the Mandeville Regional Hospital. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the facility, which was built in 2023, is part of efforts to improve access and services that meet the demand for cancer treatment.
In keeping with our 10-year strategic plan, we have been taking measures to expand on the offerings, both from a screening perspective but also from a treatment perspective.
Minister Tufton was touring the facility last Thursday. The unit also specializes in treatment and care management of blood-related disorders. Services include bone marrow aspirations, biopsies, blood transfusion, pain management for prostate cancer, and multiple myeloma. Meanwhile, the Oncology Hematology Unit was gifted with the donation of a microscope to assist with the diagnosis of blood cancers and other benign conditions. This is courtesy of Mrs. Beverly Henry, a cancer survivor, and the Carnegie Foundation, named after her mother.
Hematology is one of the subspecialties that's offered here at Mandeville Regional Hospital. And when we're diagnosing blood cancers especially, and even other benign conditions, the microscope reading of the blood film is extremely important as one of the diagnostic techniques. So I'd like to thank you so much. You are helping to save lives.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.